Okay, welcome back to the podcast and Eerily Beloved. We are gathered here today with
Heather.
Mom.
The Jester.
Woohoo. Back to the Jester.
For the first half of today's episode, we are going to be recapping our experience at the Heceta Head Lighthouse because we did go. And so if you haven't listened to that episode, go listen to episode 14 and then come back and listen to this one. Okay, now that you've listened to episode 14, we went on Thursday to the brunch that they held there. And so we all drove down to Yahat's and went to the real life Lightkeeper's cottage.
Bed and
It was
breakfast.
spooky, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was spooky.
It was.
Garrett, you want to talk about the drive there?
Oh, yeah. I guess it was spooky before we even got there.
It was spooky indeed. They were trying to get me off the road. I saw the red and blue lights flash behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunate.
Yep.
But great news.
Yep, we did get off with a verbal warning, so it's all good. 45 to 25, not my best look.
Mm-hmm. Now we know it's 25 in Waldport.
Yep, now you know it goes from 55 to 45 to 25
Mm-hmm.
You've been warned.
and about 30 feet, so
Yep.
be on the lookout.
So that's how our trip started.
Yep, entrapment.
Entrapment.
It was a
I'm
long
sure.
drive.
It was a long drive, yeah.
I mean, we went down, Madeline, Garrett, Dawn, and I, and then Heather and Paul drove separately. So they had just as long of a drive
Mhm.
to meet us there.
Well, we came from Florence because we stayed the night in Florence before. So it took us just that morning, a half hour.
Oh, that's
But yeah, the day before, definitely a couple hours.
Lots
Yeah.
of it, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to get up at the crack of dawn and drive.
Yeah.
It was long. But
It was
the
long.
lighthouse was Innkeeper's Cottage was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was. I mean, it's crazy to think that that's been around for, what was it? What 1894?
1894.
That's right.
Because that's the Wi-Fi pass.
Yeah. That's,
1849.
Yeah, right.
yeah. Looks beautiful.
It was cool. Yeah, it was. I don't know, not vintage, but the inside was actually pretty.
Well taken care of.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, very well cared for,
Yeah.
but spooky.
Yeah.
We're not ever staying there.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
get there. We get there. Heather and Paul are already there, and we have a table just for the six of us to ourselves. And after our drive, us girls, we had to go to the bathroom. So we go upstairs because that's where the bathroom is. And up the stairs is also three other rooms. It's the Mariner's room, Victoria's room, and then
The innkeeper. There's some kind of innkeeper's room.
is that what it was called? Something, yeah.
The Lightkeeper's room.
The Lightkeeper's room? Sure. And then the door to the bathroom is up there. So Heather goes to the bathroom first, and Mom and I are waiting at the top of the stairs. And all of a sudden, we hear a crashing noise from our left in one of the rooms. And-
Your guys' eyes, especially your mom,
She grabbed me.
her eyes were huge. Like, she was like,
It was scary. It sounded like something
Terrified.
came crashing down. And they didn't have any guests there at that time.
No, because the cleaning lady walked out of the other room and then opened the door, and that
And
room
went
was empty.
went into that room. So she was not in the room already when we heard that noise. In that room, we looked it up after that happened. That room is the one that has the most haunted activity because
Yeah.
it has access to the attic.
yeah,
Where Rue
Where
supposedly-
yes, the ghost
stays.
of Rue
yeah,
haunts. So that
I mean,
was
that
was
like
pretty
like minute 5
yeah,
that we were there.
yeah.
That was unsettling. And then the creature in the bathroom.
Right. That in and of itself was creepy.
I'll post a picture of the little
Statue.
light
gnome.
keeper.
Yeah.
Little
That thing was
little light keeper
terrifying.
gnome in the corner with huge dark eyes that looked so real. So creepy.
I couldn't look at it that
No.
long to see that.
I think Garrett said he covered it with toilet paper.
Oh, yeah, I covered its eyes, yeah. Its eyes were
So-
weird.
Oh.
Yeah, they looked real.
Yeah, you could have convinced me it was like taxidermy, like first Lightkeeper.
Oh.
Toss him in there.
Okay.
What if there's cameras in his eyes?
That too. It was just something about it was kind of odd.
Well, Garrett, didn't you try to turn it away too? And it
Yeah, I think it was pretty heavy. Yeah, I tried to move it, but nah, it didn't work.
Really?
Yeah, I just didn't want bro staring at me while I'm going to the bathroom.
Right.
so right off the bat, it was pretty pretty spooky.
Yeah, and we kind of
Pretty-
didn't know the vibe of how people were going to be there, right? We
No.
didn't know what their thoughts were going to be. And this was a brunch, so it, could have just been very normal. But the manager there after our brunch, when he was talking to us, about the different ghost sightings and the things that they have, and then us looking at the ghost books, I mean, clearly, everybody knows there's ghosts there.
Yeah.
Right? That's,
At least
that's
one-
not
yeah.
And that took it to another level for me because these were just random people who have stayed there on just regular letter, lined paper with pen, pencil, writing a note. These weren't like
Yeah.
made up or typed or
Right.
just random. These were
Well,
people that stayed there.
Some were very old.
Yeah, yeah,
these
yeah.
were these stories from former people that have stayed there were in binders, and they were on one of the tables.
Yeah.
And one was full of stories from people, and then the other one was full of articles that have been written about the place. But some of the stories, like you said, were written down, and they were from like 1990 something.
7 or
yeah,
something,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. There was some pretty.
What was the latest? 2022?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think there were some that got up into the 2020.
Some were like typed emails, others were
Some were-
handwritten. Some
And,
were.
and these weren't young people writing these
Oh,
because of the cursive.
especially
Yes,
some of
you
them,
know.
that cursive was so tough to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to, is that who he is, the manager there?
The house manager.
About his, of course we had to ask, what do you know about the ghosts?
Well, yeah, we have to ask everyone. I mean, right, the workers there. I mean, if anyone's going to encounter ghosts, it's going to be more likely a worker
Yeah.
than it would be just random person.
Yeah.
Were you guys there yet when I asked the younger guy? It was the older guy, the manager, and then the younger guy.
Oh yeah, didn't he say he was
He-
like cleaning up and then he heard something whisper in his ear,
Yes.
his name or
Yes.
something like that, and there was only one other person there,
Yes.
the girl. Yes.
And he's like, "Did you say something?" She's like, "What? No." Yeah. I mean, so that was, and he's only been there in a year.
Yeah.
A year. So that happened within the last year. Crazy.
Spooky.
Yeah, I think the most compelling story was the story of the person who was there with her husband and it was raining and they were, all those noises were the closet doors were opening and shutting and then the room door opened and then
Oh,
outside the window
Oh.
The roof.
Oh.
they wrote
Yeah.
it was written
'Cause it was
an
foggy.
R, a U, and then the E.
In the window
Yeah.
on the
On the
outside
outside.
of the
Yes.
room.
And they took a
Yes.
picture of it.
And the
She
room
took
was
a
on the
picture of
second
it.
story.
Yeah.
So scary.
Yeah. That's not.
Did you take a
okay.
picture of that in the
Paul,
book?
Paul did.
He did? Okay.
Paul took a picture
So
of it.
you could post that.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
crazy.
that was actually, because some of the stories, one of the stories I thought it was interesting that they left in the binder even said at the end. Remember, it had the little star. My mom made this, or
yeah.
my mom tricked me, or
Yeah.
so there was a, but they left that
Yeah.
in there. So yeah, I think that shows that they were putting everything in there. They're not filtering it,
Yeah.
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 and that they do have ghost hunters coming next month.
They're doing.
Yes.
Yes, we were given the exclusive.
Yeah.
That I guess, I don't know what show or who's coming, but the manager said that sometime in June, people were coming to do an investigation. So
So cool.
I wonder if it'll be a show or a video or, something that we'll be able to watch it. And
But it'll be cool to just have been there and know,
Yeah.
right? As if what
Yeah.
how we follow up and watch it to see what happens.
Yeah. And I mean, side note, I mean, it was beautiful.
Mhm.
It, if you like that kind of thing, but it like the bathroom was very pretty.
Mhm.
You could see it is a kind of a lovely place to stay, and not my taste necessarily, but it wasn't like creepy like an old.
no, it
Motel
wasn't
6 or
decrepit
something.
or like
Yeah.
falling apart. No, it was.
And the food presentation of the brunch was
Mhm.
beautiful. The food was fine, great.
Oh, the food. I mean, the chef was amazing. Did
Yeah.
you think, Garrett? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the experience that we had just for brunch was great.
It was, yeah, it was nice. It was would I drive?
we left a suggestion that they should start with mimosas.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just tea and coffee.
So
Yeah.
just see-
Mimosas.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
All that windy stair, though, going up and down to go potty,
I know.
it could be tricky after a beverage.
But it sounds like they do have a lot of weddings and stuff there. So there's a lot of activity that goes on.
Well, in the brochure said they had 5 bathrooms in that place. So I wonder if the rooms have bathrooms in them.
Oh,
I would hope so.
yeah.
So
It's
it's not
5
like a community
bathrooms.
bathroom.
I would
Yeah.
hope so. One bathroom for.
They must just have one for the public or, people that are only there for brunch.
Didn't they have a basement? Were there bathrooms down there? Maybe.
Oh no,
Do they have a
going in the
basement?
basement.
I
Ew.
don't know. I thought there was like windows down there.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. By the garden.
Yeah.
Stairs
Oh,
to
had
go.
the
Oh,
stairs
yeah.
downstairs,
Where I saw the
The cat.
black cat.
Yeah, Heather saw a black cat.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's a cellar.
But the other weird thing was the signs that they had to say, "Don't if someone knocks at the door, don't answer it," which I know wasn't about ghosts or anything. It was about the public. But it just did add the creepy as
Uh-huh.
where all these signs that said, like, if someone knocks at the door, don't answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not something common you see at an Airbnb.
But also,
No.
it is because the trail
Yeah.
to the actual, like, you can hike to the lighthouse apart from going just to the lightkeeper's cottage. So it's probably just
There
because
was
it's
a bit of
a
foot
public
traffic.
trail.
There was.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know, for 100 plays, it was pretty cute.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
beautiful. The weather
I wasn't,
Oh, and the
scared.
views.
They were
it
amazing.
was
What?
pretty.
Yeah, the views and even that bridge was beautiful. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. From the house, that view of that bridge.
Mhm. And the ocean
Uh-huh.
sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then their little gift shop
Mhm.
that probably was a horse.
yeah, probably carriage house or something. Yeah. It was
So it was
really
a little gift
small.
shop. They had lots of little
Trinket.
trinkets, little tchotchkes for
Tchotchkes.
the lighthouse.
Liam would have loved it.
Oh, yeah. All the little things.
Oh yeah, don't bring him there.
But it was cute, like farm to table. Like they had a lot of farm
Mhm.
or a lot of garden little boxes outside, and they say everything they try to use from the garden, or locally sourced or
Right.
whatever. That was neat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I liked
no,
it.
no amount of money could get me to spend the night there ever.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how dark it would be up there at night?
No.
No.
Oh no.
Well, and even getting there from the road,
Oh.
right, is so white. Like if you had to leave in a hurry, forget it.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm-mm.
And isn't the lighthouse under construction? So
the actual light. Like I don't know if you saw, but I read about it first, and then I saw there was a white sheet around like where the bulb is or whatever,
Oh.
because they're trying to find just the right
Yeah,
company or person who knows how to fix it or something.
really, I didn't know that.
oh yeah, so there's no lights then. That's bad.
Ooh, spooky.
So it's really dark.
So you're just
Yeah.
like in the
dark.
hills and the trees, and it's
And you're the only house there. We should score this, but we should score the cottage since we've been there for a creepy factor.
I feel like the downstairs wasn't very creepy.
If you didn't know what it was, like if you just
Well,
walked in and thought it was an Airbnb,
Just a quaint little house.
Yeah, you would just think, okay.
I
but-
liked all the pictures that they had and the stuff about the history and the old keepers and the
Mhm.
families, and like that's cool that they
All the personal
that.
photos.
Some of them were weird.
some
It's
were,
cool, but
some
it's
had like
creepy.
children holding dolls or just a picture of a doll or
Or the short man,
the
with
short
tall
man
woman.
and the tall woman.
Yep,
yeah.
the guy standing on the box.
I guess some were a little bit strange, but if you didn't know that, I think it would just be like, oh, this is a historical building. But the upstairs is creepy. So downstairs I give like a 4. Upstairs I'll probably give it a 7 or an 8.
Yeah, I would not. I mean, I wouldn't stay. I wouldn't have stayed there.
Like
when-
even after I knew that thing was in the bathroom, it still scared me when I walked in the second time.
Mm-mm.
the dark eyes.
Uh-huh.
Startling.
Uh-huh. So like, he's
Yeah, I mean, even talking about it in episode 14, it was creepy. But I think being there, especially being upstairs and hearing the noise that we heard, I just that
Mhm.
was really and hearing the stories from the workers that, I mean, they do have encounters with a ghost or ghosts. Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, I'm just going to be honest, it's a 10.
Wow. Yeah. Garrett?
I would give the downstairs a solid 1. Upstairs, specifically the bathroom, is a 10 for sure.
weird vibes in the bathroom.
When I first opened that door and I saw a small dark statue chilling there, I thought it was a person, and I walked in on someone. So not the best first impression. And then the eyes got me. They were like a dog's eyes.
Mhm.
I just was not a
Dark.
big fan.
Yeah, they're
Would not recommend.
Yeah, I would say creepy for me, probably a 7. under the circumstances. I
Mhm.
mean, if it was night or if I had to stay there, I mean,
it
it
was
would be a
night.
20 for sure.
Yeah.
But it was, during the day and the view was beautiful. We had good food. My friends were there, So
It was a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really glad we did it and
For a
we took
day
an
time.
adventure. Yeah, for the day.
Yeah.
But we're not taking any of those types of adventures at night. I don't want to be that ambitious again.
no, no.
So I just, we did the night one, and that spooked me. And now we've done the day one, but hearing the
Wait.
ghost,
What night
Night
one?
one.
Yeah, with the jogger.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
How can we forget the jogger?
Sorry, that was.
Well, we
Yeah.
didn't see it, so.
Thank goodness, or else we would have crashed the car.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall it was great, and it's a beautiful place, the Heceta Head Lighthouse. I mean, if people haven't been there and you're happen to be driving through Yachats, hey. But on the way back, we did stop and see the
The sea
sea lions and
The sea
Oh, you
lions.
did?
seals. Yeah, and we heard them barking. That was pretty fun.
That's I'd never been past there, and it's like literally right off the road.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so it was a nice little scenic drive.
Yeah.
Minus the part where I got pulled over. Yeah, it
Minus
was.
the part-
Yeah, nice and scenic. Yeah.
Yeah, Garrett learned his lesson. Now he's a rule follower.
Yeah, you could say that.
All right, so that's the end of our recap. So now we're going to be talking about after-death communications because both Heather and Mom have had their own experiences, so we're going to get into those. So paranormal psychology and bereavement studies defined ADCs in the 1990s as a spiritual experience that occurs when someone is contacted directly and spontaneously by a deceased family member or friend. ADCs don't have a clear or singular way that one might experience them. Some have auditory experiences while fully conscious. Others have had dreams or meditations that are symbolic in nature. For others, lights can flick on and off. One might see full apparition or smell the perfume of the person who died. But ADCs consist of at least one of the senses and occur without the use of mediums, psychics, or any other spiritual aid. So while not fully explored until more recently, interest in encounters with those who have died has existed for centuries. An article written by Bill and Judy Guggenheim, who coined the term ADC, recounts that one of the earliest accounts of one appeared in On Divination by Roman Marcus Tullius Cicero, written circa 45 BC. He says, there were two comrades from Arcadia traveling together, and that when they reached Megara, one of them went to the inn while the other accepted the hospitality of a friend. He said his friend finished their evening meal and retired. In his slumber, our guest dreamed that his traveling companion appeared to him and said, the innkeeper has murdered me, flung my body into a cart and covered it with dung. Please, I beg you, be at the gate early in the morning before the cart can leave town. Stirred to the depths of his being by this dream, he confronted at dawn the rustic who was driving the cart at the gate. The wretch took to his heels in dismay and fright. Our friend then recovered the body and reported the murder to the proper officials. The innkeeper was duly punished. So that's the first record of ADCs happening.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
What if it was him and his conscience was speaking to him?
Maybe. But that wasn't the case.
And it's all made up.
Framed it on the guy?
So ADCs are fascinating in that they can happen to anyone, regardless of age, gender, race, religion, etc., and are found to exist in nearly every society and spiritual tradition. For researchers, investigating ADC is difficult due to lack of physical facts and instead psychological function. In 1967, Dr. Ian Stevenson founded the Division of Perpetual Studies, which is a part of the Department of Psychiatry and Neurobehavioral Sciences at the University of Virginia School of Medicine, and remains one of the only research groups dedicated to the study of human consciousness. In addition to ADCs, they study past lives, near-death experiences, and more. In their book Hello from Heaven, published in 1995, researchers Bill and Judy Guggenheim collected and published over 3,300 first-hand interviews and accounts of ADCs, which remains one of the largest collective studies done on the subject. The research went to show that ADCs are spontaneous, subjective, and that they aren't contained to one demographic. An article from Psychology Today reports that research indicated 25% to 60% of bereaved individuals worldwide report some form of after-death communication. In the United States, approximately half of the population has documented such experiences, with 44% occurring within the last year. For a long time, those who experienced ADCs were reluctant to share with others due to the fear of the others questioning their sanity or dismissing their experience as a dream or potential hallucination. Current studies, like the ones conducted at University of Virginia, emphasize the positive impact ADC can bring to individuals who are grieving a death. They found that in many cases, individuals report reduced fear of death and an increased sense of meaning, connection, and hope. University of Virginia professor and clinical psychologist Dr. J. Kim Penberthy said, "I found that honoring these stories, listening without judgment, is in itself therapeutic. Whether or not we can prove the metaphysical truth of an ADC, we can appreciate its psychological significance. We can ask, what did it mean to the person? How did it shape their grief? And what might it reveal about the human need for connections, even across the apparent boundary of death?"
That's awesome.
I found people are actually looking into it for realsies and other metaphysical things, but I didn't know it was such like a widely researched thing.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I think it's like ghosts. You know, if you don't experience it, it's probably really hard to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet. I haven't had one. Yeah, have you?
Nope, not that I remember.
Ma, have you?
I mean, I've had one. Yeah, but I was too little to actually, I don't remember it myself. But it's a family story that's carried on and on and on for, what, like
That's right.
48
Mhm.
years.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was too small to remember it, I was almost 4. So, but it's just a story that's been told over and over and over. So we all know the story. So I'm aware of it, but only because it's like when you see pictures and you've gone to Disneyland and you're little. Of course, you don't remember Disneyland, but you can look at the pictures and, oh yeah, that makes sense. But for me, hearing the stories, the same story over and over and over, I've no doubt that it's true. I don't know why anyone would make it up.
Right.
But
Okay, what's the story?
okay, so my uncle, my dad's brother, committed suicide, and they lived in Michigan, and my parents lived in Oregon. And so after his suicide, his wife was Catholic, and so she wanted a full Catholic mass and service for him, as well as open casket. And unfortunately, he had shot himself in the head, so they had to do pretty significant work, it sounds like, for him to have the open casket. My sister was 7, my older sister, and my younger sister would have been like 2. And so we didn't go to the funeral. We stayed at my grandparents' house. And the night of the funeral, the story has a little bit of variance depending on now, how the story has changed. So I'm in my bed, and my uncle appears at the foot of my bed, and I'm talking to him. And the one variation is that my parents hear me talking and come up to see what's going on because they're in, some nearby bedroom, and ask what's gone on. And I tell him that I was talking with my Uncle Mark, and that he told me to tell my dad that everything was going to be okay. The other version of the story is I had made it from the bedroom to the hallway where my parents caught up with me, wandering the hallway. And I told them, the same type of story. Either everything was going to be okay or he was going to be okay. But, and my sister being 7, she remembers the story. And like I said, it's been told through, like, most of our family friends have heard the story. It's something that, like, it was just like, I guess, I was the weird one for a while.
Well, you even called both of your sisters today just to confirm, hey, I'm not making this up. Like, this is actually...
Yeah, I said, I'm going to go on Madeline's podcast and talk about this. And I need to make sure, like, right, like, we all, like, I didn't tell him the story. I said, you tell me the story. So that, right, so, and my older sister verbatim, like, she knew, she just knew exactly.
And she remembers it.
Yeah, it was more impactful for her because she was really good friends with my cousin, my uncle's daughter, and they stayed and they were together the whole time, and even in the basement where my uncle had committed suicide.
Mm.
So so for her it was one of those very first, like, traumatic memories.
Yeah.
But they both remembered it when she asked them. So, but when I asked my grandma, she said she had no clue.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Which is so surprising for me because, I mean, it was my parents were there. It would have been really impactful for my dad. My dad was the oldest brother. So, and as we heard the stories as the years went on, it was a really big deal. like, because there were some circumstances he didn't even know, like nobody knew why, what. And so I think it was just probably really important for my dad to hear that at the time. So, like, I don't have a memory of it. I was too small, but I do believe that must have happened. Like I said, this story has been told. We have family friends that
Well, and you had
know.
family that was like very, very religious as well. So it's not like they would have just been making up these stories for
No, they
for
wouldn't
the
want
fun of
anyone
it.
to know for sure. Yeah, it
And
wasn't like socially probably acceptable, and that's why it got like, I guess it got coined with me.
Well, and they
Probably
say
so.
children are more open to that because, they don't have the,
like the mental block.
yeah,
Yeah.
the shut off valve or whatever, like we do.
Yeah, my younger sister told me today. She said, "Well, you were the favored one from my uncle," and I don't remember that because I don't have I don't remember any interactions. So that part's kind of sad.
Had you met him multiple times? Do you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even
Yeah.
though they lived in Michigan, yeah. I believe it 100%.
Heather, you believe it because you've had one yourself as
I
well, right?
did a couple years ago. I'm not going to cry either.
It's okay if you cry.
No, I don't want to cry, but I didn't. Okay, so I'll back up just a little bit. So my mom took her life, and my grandparents have always said this throughout this whole time, and I didn't know if I believed them or not. Actually, I didn't because I didn't want to believe it. How that's creepy. That doesn't happen. But my grandpa said that my mom visited him twice. Once was at the foot of his bed, also like your experience. That he said she just appeared and kind of sat there, and he was like, but there was no communication. It was very peaceful, but she just sat there. And then another time was, and I have this written down. He typed it on a typewriter. So I do have this at home, the details, but because he didn't want to forget it. So he wrote it all down, but that, he had a dream, and in the dream, she appeared, and it was her going through a door and kind of waving goodbye, but smiling and happy, like everything was great and gonna be great. And, so I'm like, okay, whatever. And I asked my grandma, do you believe that, Grandma? Would grandpa lie and say that stuff? And he wasn't a weirdo. He wasn't overly religious or anything. So I don't know. I have nothing else to believe but that. But then, and so I didn't, whatever.
And how old were you then?
When she died, I was 9.
Okay.
So then a few years ago, my husband's brother died of a drug overdose, and obviously unexpected, because we thought he was sober. But I was really close to him. He was just the greatest human being in the world, the squishiest, scariest guy you would ever meet. Tattooed top to bottom, huge, total prison felony, that kind of guy, but the nicest, most loving, just a really great soul. So he died on July 6th, a few years ago, and we didn't have his service until it was I think towards the end of August, but I don't know, maybe 2 weeks before his service. So between that, he came to me in a dream, and it was the weirdest thing. I could never imagine, but it was it gives me goosebumps to say it was just a really spiritual experience because he was floating to me. I'll just never forget, but he was floating, but coming towards me, but with the biggest smile on his face, exuding happiness. And just excitement and I'm okay, I'm okay. He I couldn't hear him say that, but I knew that that's what he was saying, that he was okay, that everything's gonna be okay. Just floating towards me, just so glowing and happy, and it just because I was devastated. It really hit me hard, and because I asked my husband why me? Why would he do that? And my husband said, maybe because I was so upset. I don't know. I just had a really hard time getting past it. But yeah, so that was it. It was really it. It was pretty basic and simple, but it did make me feel a lot better. It was, I could exhale. I felt like, okay, I know that he's where he kind of, probably wanted to be. He was so much loved God. Oh my gosh. And he knew what was coming, and he was there. And I think he was just saying, I made it. It's real. It's all good. I'll see you soon, sis. So, yeah, that was my experience. And it wasn't scary because I don't do ghosts, as you know. I don't believe in that stuff,
Yeah.
But so this wasn't a bad, scary experience. It was really awesome.
And could you tell that it wasn't a dream? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yes, very much. I can't explain how or why the difference between a dream and this experience is so hard to explain. I don't know how to
But
explain it.
you just knew.
Yes, I
Yeah.
knew. I woke up and just sat up straight in bed and just cried, and just was like, okay, everything's gonna be okay. I know he's okay. Yeah,
That's beautiful.
yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. Especially that you remember it and it's a happy,
Yeah.
right? That it was a positive
Yeah.
experience, and a lot of times ghosts or these experiences can be, torment or
Hmm.
oh, I mean,
Not a ghost.
Well, it's a
Experience.
spirit,
Yeah.
I guess, essentially, right? Somebody's spirit visited you.
I think Mom was just saying ghosts in general.
yeah,
Like
meaning ghosts in general.
anything
like,
spiritual that we don't necessarily understand can be associated
Yeah.
with
But
negative energies.
but especially having you having the experience of it being so positive,
Yeah.
right?
Because I remember always thinking, growing up my whole life, thinking, if that happened to me, what happened to my grandpa, I think I would have a heart attack. Like, truly, like, don't, Mom, if you can hear me, do not do that to me because I will die. I would be so scared. And then it kind of happens, and it was so great. Like, I feel privileged, actually, that he chose me. Like, why? Why would he come to me? Like, that's so awesome. I wish everybody could experience that once. Or that we could have all of our people visit us like that,
Yeah.
and just say, it's okay, I'm okay.
Yeah, that would be nice if you could have that experience with people that you miss or
Get some
that,
closure.
Yeah, yeah. Because it is, messes with your mind thinking, I'm never going to see this person again.
Yeah.
Never going to talk to him again. And knowing that, kind of affirming that it's not the case is awesome.
I was surprised at how many people in your studies that this impacts because it's really significant. So clearly people just aren't talking about it, right? I think it's a stigma.
Yeah, I think before the research that this couple had done in 1995, a lot of the people, like I said, didn't come forward because they were scared of it being labeled as mental illness or hallucinations. It's like, okay, that has its own stigma too, because mental health, of course, wasn't as like widely accepted and understood back then either. So
That actually shocks me that 95, that wasn't very long ago. It's only been since then, 1995, that people started talking about it?
that it was like accepted as
A thing.
Yeah, as like its own.
Wow.
That more than a few people had this type of experience, and so it's like, okay, maybe this should be its own
Category.
Yeah.
Like NDEs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to do an episode on NDEs too.
Mm-hmm.
Near-death
I've read a couple
experiences.
books on it, watched movies. I love that subject.
I know. I was interested to see that was on this list of categories that this one research group covered. It's like, how do you study that? There's not metrics or things to. I guess that's what they're looking into. How did these things happen? How did they happen?
Mm-hmm.
Who are the people it happens to?
Study
And
the accounts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's just
And
interesting.
the
that
one
you
book I
can-
wrote, it was a doctor, it's thousands, and a pastor. I think it was a doctor and a pastor, but thousands of accounts.
Yeah.
And he took years and years and years to interview these people, study it all around the world, every country. He'd go visit, and he just took the time and then wrote it all out in a book. Yeah. Ooh, that'll be a fun one. I love that.
Well, and grief is like one of the most universally experienced emotions by everybody, regardless of race, gender, spirituality, anything, which is
Or how many feet they have.
But, right. Yeah, animals experience, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And things like NDEs and ADCs are probably a lot more common, but people just need to talk about it more. And if you have had an ADC or an NDE, please send me an email. eerilybelovedpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to read them.
You mind defining that again for the dumb people in the room?
What?
Is that near-death experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we already said that.
I just need a refresher. It's been like 30 minutes.
ADC, after death communication, NDE, near death experience. So
Awesome. Well, I mean, thanks Heather and Paul for coming with us
yes,
to the
yeah.
Heceta Head Lighthouse for the brunch. That was so fun.
It was my invite, so thank you.
It was really fun from the last episode. I'm glad we got to do the event.
We'll have to do another one.
I know.
Maybe not too far, not that far away, but
Yeah. Definitely not at night.
not at night. Something in the middle of the day.
We could go to Wilsonville.
What if we go to the Oregon State Hospital at night?
Okay. Well, you lost me at night.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
because
The
they have a
Oregon State
museum.
Hospital Museum.
Yeah.
Because they have some damaged stuff there, even.
More to come. More to come. But thank you for listening. Again, if you have any stories about NDEs, ADCs, please send us an email. New episodes every Thursday. Follow us on all social medias, Eerily Beloved Podcast. And we will see you next Thursday. Bye.
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 Bye.